My name is Sharon Crandall and I am your personality manager. I am trained to assess your personality traits by measuring your facial features and other physical characteristics. You were born with over 50 personality traits inherited through your genetic pattern. Today, our video is one of the foremost and valuable principles of personality science, the 10-acre principle, particularly in marriage. The 10-acre principle answers these questions. What business is it of yours? Or, when do you have a right to poke your nose into your partner's business? Notice these 3 circles. One of the large circles is your 10 acres and the other 10-acre circle is for your spouse. The small circle is the middle plot, 3-acre plot, in which you are co-owner with your partner. So, your own 10 acres represents 2 things: your God-given rights, and number 2 is your personal responsibilities within the marriage, chosen through mutual agreements between you and your partner. The 3-acre plots are things which you both agree as part of the marriage partnership, as some of your time, some of your money, how you rear your children, where you live, sexual access to each other, and physical responsibilities such as who cooks, who cleans, who changes the baby's diapers, and so on. Those have to be worked out together. Think about this. What if you started a restaurant business and you opened the door for business with no plan in mind? How long do you think this business would last if everyone just kind of did what they thought they should do or wanted to do? Well, since marriage is the most important business of your life, then running it with no plan might not work too well, unless you happen to be 2 very agreeable people. The problem is that too many people go into marriage with very little planning and with all sorts of assumptions as to how they think marriage should be. The key word here is assumptions. You take 2 people with different backgrounds, belief systems, different emotional makeup, goals, and whatever fantasies you have built around the idea of marrying each other, and you end up with a certain amount of compatibility, a certain amount of trouble, and a grip of unfulfilled expectations. If you want to build a great partnership, it is time to get rid of the assumptions and communicate. Preferably before marriage and certainly before children, or as in most cases, anytime you want to pick up the pieces and put it together right. Maybe it is time to get interested in who it is that you are sharing that bucket of chicken with. First of all, get to know your own personality traits and how you are being perceived by others. Then you need to find an outlet for the gift part of your traits. It is also important to learn how your traits tend to rub your partner the wrong way. Next, choose who does what, such as who cooks, who cleans, who does the yard, which day you babysit, who changes the diapers, etc. Make fun consequences for failing to live up to your agreements. So once you decide who's going to do what, make your agreement. So, for example, if your partner agrees to take out the garbage and it is piling up in a mess most of the time, he gets to take you out dancing once a week until he corrects the problem. In other words, try to do things that are positive for your consequences so that you can make marriage or your partnership as fun as possible. So now, the overall rules of the 10-acre principle are these. Stay on your 10 acres, and you do not tell the other person how to run his 10 acres or do his job. You don't get to remind him or her, to nag, to counsel, or advise your partner in how to do his job. If your partner does that, you politely tell him to please stay off of your 10 acres. If you have a suggestion, you may ask if it is okay to make a suggestion or a request, but you must not proceed without his permission. I did this class to a lady that called me back up and she said, "You saved my marriage." She said, "That 10-acre principle is the best thing that ever happened to our marriage." And so really try to have some fun with this. Okay, so your personality traits will help you to set up the 10-acre principle in an excellent way of life that I have recommended. First of all, take the time to get to know what their needs are and your needs, and discuss those things and what it is that's really important to you. Set aside your critical reactions and listen to what your partner has to say. Listen with your heart. When we accepted the marriage deal, we accepted a package deal. The great and then the part that rubs you the wrong way. First rule of living the 10-acre principle. Accept the fact that you each have God-given rights, and then respect those rights. No one gets to be a dictator. If you want something that belongs to the God-given rights category, make a request. In the spirit of love, we sometimes sacrifice sometimes for the higher good of the marriage. For example, let's say you want to wear your sweats all the time, but your partner is not happy with that. So maybe you can work things out to where you dress up once a week to be with your partner, and so you cooperate. It's cooperation that is very important in a marriage, and just to regard each other's needs. It's like we must accept our differences. You've got some people that want to dress up a lot, and one person that doesn't, maybe, or there are so many differences that people can have. And after all, you married your partner for the whole good, the whole person. And so we want to support that, okay? So let's talk about your God-given rights. One is what you think. The next one is what you believe. The next one, how and who you worship. The next one, where you live. Then your education, what you want to learn or study or whatever, and what you wear, how you style your hair, how you spend your time, what you eat, what to do with your body legally, what to do with your property legally, and a certain amount for the good of the couple. Your personal responsibilities that you choose through agreements. These might be: one does the cooking, the other one vacuums and dusts, one mows the lawn, and the other trims the hedges. One pays the bills, with both setting up the monthly budget. Each takes turns babysitting once a week. You get the picture. Now, once your 10 acres is set up with your agreed stewardship and individual responsibilities, no one gets to tell the other person how to run his own 10 acres. If you are cooking, the other person does not tell you how to cook, where to keep the pots and pans, and so on. So if they start to tell you what to do, you can ask them nicely to please stay on their own 10 acres. Now, the key to making the marriage partnership working successfully is that no one gets to be the boss. However, you may agree in the partnership as to who is responsible for certain things and not. But we must regard agency. We must regard the right to believe the way that we want to believe. And then, from then, we can make our agreements. So, it is important to choose a partner who is honest and willing to work together to form a mutually loving partnership. So what good is a marriage? I suppose marriage and love have been defined in many ways, so here is my take on it. The first step is to basically like your partner as a person. Understand his traits so that you know that you can take advantage of both the gifts and the challenges, and know that you're going to have both sides to deal with. You must accept each other as a package deal, unless you want to be miserable for the rest of your life and keep changing the other person or trying to change him or her. So accept your differences and make room for your individual personalities. Then set up your marriage as woman had described her new marriage after having a dictator-servant marriage. I now have a marriage where when he wants to do something, I say how may I help? And when I want to do something, he says, how may I help? You actually can sum a good marriage right there in that little paragraph. Because if people want the best for their partner, they want to help and not hold them back. The wonderful thing about the 10-acre principle is that when you take into consideration your partner's personality traits, you can set your marriage up to utilize each other's talents and minimize the things that you dislike. And if you both don't like something, then hire it done. We all must do things we do not like, however, and so sometimes in order to cooperate, we each need to take a challenge or two that we maybe don't want to do. So what will it be for you? Cooperation, compatibility, or compatibility? Are you going to combat each other, or are you going to work together? And I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and like and make a comment. I really would like to hear your comments and your experiences as well. Thank you.